Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the EBA Player Draft. I am Mark, and with me today are Brandon, Ray, Elim, and Steve. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Good.
Doing good.
Good. Thanks, Mark.
All right, let's get it. Ray, you have the first overall pick. Who are you taking?
Cool. So to decide on this first pick, I've looked to game score, and the three players at the top are David, Quinn, and Mark. And since I've never played with or against Quinn, I'm gonna have to decide between David and Mark. And with the first pick, I'm taking the commissioner. So I wanted to create a team that plays a quick pace and runs and guns, scores 100 plus points a game.
Plays no defense. Yeah, picking Mark was perfectly.
I mean, you just ruined my whole strategy, right? All right, fine. So I have the second pick, right? This is gonna be tough. Now that I am off the board, I think I have to go with the most dominant player in EBA history, Quinn, who used to play for Murky, with my second pick.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, during Quinn's time in the EBA, no one could guard him. He's consistent 20-point scorer, averages around 14, 15 rebounds a game, shoots a high percentage. And in the playoffs, man, he always steps up to have much dominant performances. And hit the championship too. Nice passer. Yeah,
Good
I love
guy to
him,
play
man.
with.
Yeah.
Cool head, cool, calm, collected, go up against anyone,
Yeah.
Actually, did we ever see a Quinn and David Clark matchup? Did we ever see one?
We
I
have
would have loved
not.
that.
I think we had to fly Quinn back from Australia just for this.
What
Right.
are the funds looking like? If
What
we're
I
out
loved, what I loved about Quinn was his fashion sense as well. The only
Yeah.
guy to rock a bandana in EBA.
Exactly. At home you get swag, you get dominance, and you get good fashion.
And he's polite. He's polite too. He'll knock you over while getting a rebound, get the putback, and then he'll ask you if you're okay.
Anyways, with the third pick, it is Steven.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go with a guy who's really diverse. He's a little injury prone, unfortunately, and he's easy to rile, easy to get under his skin. But despite those weaknesses, he's got the commissioner on his side. He's got the refs on his side, and he's a great player. I'm going to go with Jeff Mackay.
That's a great pick, Steve. That's a great pick. I wish Jeff had fallen to one I picked next.
You could just write him in on your team. I'm sure that's what you could do at the end.
You know what? Like the reason
that's how you do the
Sonics,
stats, right? That's how you do the stats, right? You just write them in
Hey,
for your team.
come on, Steve. Like the reason I left Sonics was literally because of Jeff. Like I wanted to play with Jeff so much that I left the team I love the most.
Hey, Sonics would have gladly let Jeff join the team.
Yeah, true.
Just to deconstruct your fake reasoning.
Ooh! I hear some backstory here, Elim. Do you want to add more?
Oh no, not at all. Listen to the other episode of the podcast if you want the backstories.
Okay.
That'll be episode 4 when Elim came on the show and talk about Sonics. Check that out. Okay, with pick number 4 in the first round, it is Elim.
All right, so with pick number 4, it's tough because I feel like the top picks remaining all represents very diverse ways of playing, and then the team that you would form around them are quite different. But I have to go with, I think, the most dominant player in EBA history by game score, which is Mr. Dave Clark. Big Dave.
Oh, Big Dave is off the board, the first center in the draft.
I mean, Big Dave, he's averaging 26 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. And it's hard to go wrong with that. I think he presents a matchup problem for the other teams that not many players can bring. And his weaknesses stats wise, I feel like they can be fixed or they can be kind of helped by building the right team around him. So the high turnovers and stuff like that, I think right now he's probably not getting the ball in his best spots, and he's not being complimented well enough. Not throwing shade at anyone in particular, but I think so I think Big Dave's still got I think he's got another level he can hit even beyond these current stats, which are already the best stats in the game. So let's go.
All right. With the last pick in the first round, Brandon, you are up.
All right. Well, obviously we're going snake, so I got back to back. So this is the 5th pick, and then following the 6th pick afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm picking one of my guys. He's an absolute beast on the perimeter and inside. Surprisingly inside, but also not surprisingly because he got exceptional footwork and he'll light you up. He's on the call now. It's my guy Elim. He's number 5, and he's on my team. So without a doubt, I'm picking Elim with what we've got here.
The 2019 EBA MVP, Elim, is off the board.
I'm sad. I'm happy and sad at the same time. It's a weird feeling.
Don't worry. I know you wish you could pick yourself, but I'm gonna do it for you, man. So I'm gonna and it's a very strong. It's me having the next pick as well. I know exactly who I'm getting next as well. I'm sorting out my backcourt. So number 6 for the first pairing in the draft so far. I'm actually putting you with Baboya.
Ooh, interesting.
We're going quick. So if we actually want speed, we've got Baboya, and he's pushing the ball for us. He's quick. We're playing man. Doesn't matter. He's going to be able to lock anyone we want down, any guard, right? And we've got Elim as well. So that's our backcourt sorted.
I'd love to play with Baboya. So
I reckon. Yeah, if you get him on the right team, man, you're gonna see a different side of him.
Oh, that's a good backboard. That's good.
Mr. Triple Double himself.
All right, with the 2nd pick in the 2nd round, Elim, you're up.
All right, so I think despite all that talk about having to pick the right guard with the right big, I think
that crazy talk.
I think EBA is a league that has a shortage on elite bigs. And if we're talking elite bigs, then I'm going to have to go with probably the elite stretch big in EBA, which would be Mike Kofi.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going old school. So I've got the elite inside center dominant, and I've got the stretch big. So what are teams going to do?
Ooh, that's
what
gonna
are
be
we
tough.
Gonna do?
Yeah, that's
just wait till he rolls his ankle, I suppose.
Oh my God, Steve.
hey, we got our
trying to push him, Steve.
we got our injury sliders turned off on this league.
Okay.
All right. With the 8th pick, it is Steve. Back to you.
You know, even though I do kind of like game score, and I agree with Elim, I would like to take another big. And I look at Harrison and I say, there's another guy who really hasn't played with anyone good who can pass him the ball. Hey, I don't know. They all know that, right? Everyone, they can't utilize that guy at all, which is sad because he's about 6'10". Right. He's pretty athletic. But I think with Jeff on my team, if I have another big who's a real good defensive big who can pass and shoot, that also plays a lot of defense, and he's got a smart, strategic brain, I think I'm going to draft Brandon.
Ooh,
I really do, because he's also a winner, you know, and I want my team to be full of winners. So Brandon's won a championship. He gets things out of people that I think other people don't get. I think his stats don't really represent how good a player he is. So I'm going to pick you, Brandon.
Jeez,
put you alongside Jeff.
Oh, look, I'd love to play with Jeff.
I think he'll find you. I think you guys would be a nice high-low. Put Brandon in the forward spot, though. I'm not picking him at center.
And they could also present a very, confounding good cop, bad cop kind of dynamic.
Defensively, yeah.
You would be messed up to be dealing with the two of us.
Just psychologically, it'd be bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm up next, right, with the 9th pick. Whew, this is tough. Man, Steve and Elim's team both look really big. And Brandon's team look really fast. And Ray has me, man. You know, that's a good team already.
Ray, bro, just draft the Paladins. Put Ting and put the shooters around him.
I think with my 9th pick, I'm going to go with the all-time leading scorer in EBA history, Aaron, who used to play for Barons and now plays for the Renegades.
Oh,
I think Aaron is a really dynamic scorer. And then with him and Quinn on the court together, we can play fast, but also have a really deadly pick and roll combo. And Aaron's also a really good passer as well. So if I surround these two guys with shooters, then we'll get a lot of open threes as well. So yeah, I'll go with Aaron.
Aaron's got a motor, man. That guy's got the most he never gets tired.
No, I think him and Baboya is probably the two players with the biggest motor in EBA.
Yeah, it's insane.
Right?
And I think that motor really does have a lot to do with it, especially because you've got two sorts of motors, right? You've got like a guard motor, and then you've got a big motor. So say if David Clark, I mean, he's a fit guy, but say if he could get up and down the court even quicker than what he could right now, unstoppable. No big's going to be able to. He's obviously fit enough at the moment, but if someone like that could run the whole game and keep the same level of dominance as a big, that spot's open, you know. So, and little guys is completely different. And Mark's a big guy. He's a big guard, and he pushes the ball. The boy pushes the ball. Aaron pushes the ball, and that causes problems when teams decide to sleep for a full quarter.
All right. So for the last pick in the second round, Ray, you're up.
All right, so I've got the point guard and ball handling duties all done, and I am.
You haven't got a point guard, right?
Bro, Steve, you're just not playing with me, man.
Hey, look, so I've got 2 back-to-back picks, and I'm going to secure. We're talking about elite bigs here. Elim's got 2 of the best bigs. Steve's got some pretty solid big men, but I feel like someone who's been not talked about a lot as one of the elite bigs is Daniel Lipman. So I'm going to take him at the 10th pick.
You know what? You put Mark and Dan together, you got a good pairing for sure.
I mean, every season Daniel and I play together, we have not won the championship.
Really?
Here we go.
No.
And talking about Daniel Lipman and what Brandon was saying about the motors and the big motors, I think Dan is probably one of the best motors any big has. So that boy runs the floor, man.
So, one of the glaring weaknesses my team has so far is spot up shooting. And, when I filter out the 3-point stats, the people that stand out are Ting, Lee, and, I'm going to have to go with my teammate on this one, Roy Wang, over the other guys.
Wow.
He's been lighting it up from 3 this season. His average stats don't show it, but this season he's averaging 28 points. He's shooting 50, 40, 90, essentially.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, all right. Who's up next? 12th pick. Is that me?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I'm not ready yet. Oh, man. I can go 2 ways with this pick. Can I either draft the big to match up against Elim and Steve's team, or get some shooting to match with my other players? Oh, it's going to be tough. Looking down the list, I think with Aaron having the ball a lot in his hand and Quinn being dominant in the post, I need someone who's actually versatile, who can handle the ball when needed, who can cut off the ball, and who's good at shooting, and who can play solid defense. I think I'm going to go with DJ from Mercury.
All right.
Oh,
that'll be my pick.
Yep.
Good pick.
I'm really happy with a Aaron and DJ backcourt.
Yeah, and like DJ and Quinn have played together as well.
Exactly.
Like they've played together. They know each other, and they're both good. They're all good dudes.
Next up, Steve, it's back to you.
For what?
Next pick.
For what?
Oh man.
Yeah. I think with the guards left, there's not really any pure point guards left. There's probably one. There's probably one guy I like at point guard. This is for my team, being as where my team is now. So I'm kind of trying to pick whether I take a point guard or I take some shooting. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Liam Thompson at point guard, because he gives me some size and some strength, and he knows how to play D. And since he coached Justin to a championship when he was in under 13s, I know he knows the game. He's a smart guy. So I think I kind of like Liam.
Smart guy too. Smart dude. He gets the game.
I mean, looking at your team, Steve, you got 3 players who are all really smart. You probably had 3 of the highest IQ player in the league.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right. The 14th pick is Elim. There's a lot of bigs on your team right now.
Oh, this is hard. This is really, really hard. So there's a lot of good players left, and I think with my 3rd pick, I'm gonna have to go with a guard that can like what I was saying before, that can really get my 2 bigs going. A selfless pass first guard who makes good decisions and can keep his composure. So I'm gonna have to go with my all-time favorite backcourt teammate, Peter Lee.
Peter is off the board.
Good pick.
When Steve said there weren't any pure point guards left, man, Peter, I felt disrespected on your behalf.
I mean, Peter might be the only pure point
Peter's a
guard.
better scorer than that, Elim.
He's pretty much
Give Peter a chance. He's a better scorer than that. I rate him higher than that. Than just a pure point guard.
Jeez.
To close out the 2nd round and to kick us off with the 3rd round, back-to-back picks. Brandon.
All right, it's simple. We're going to need one guy to lock down the bigs on each one of these teams. And I know that it's, I know I trash talk him a bit and I give him a hard time. And we've been on the same team. We've been on opposite teams before, but this guy is reliable at playing defense and committing a full game to playing defense on bigs. It's tough, and we've seen him do it before. I'm taking Hussein. So Hussein's coming in as my forward. So,
As your center?
yeah. Well,
I think
we're going to leave him as
on one
forward.
game.
We're going to
Yeah.
put that in forward, yeah.
Cool.
So look, with Hussein, with a team like Elim and Brandon, we're now relieving like a lot of Hussein's scoring pressure, right? So if there's a game where Hussein needs to mark a guy and he needs to match up on a big and commit, say I'm thinking back on that Hussein and David Clark matchup. If he needs to commit his full game and all of his energy to playing defense, I know he's capable of doing it. And we're not going to be worse off from a scoring perspective as well. Anything that we get on offense from Hussein in a game like that is just a bonus, and he can still score. So I'm happy with that.
Let's not forget, Huss can also stretch the floor for you. He has that really good mirroring jump shot.
Exactly.
And then I'm looking back to that playoff series between Paladins and Hurricanes. Huss in the game 2 and 3 outplayed David Clark. Right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He definitely did, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a good pick, man. Huss.
Yeah, he's a champion. He's a champion.
Yeah, the champion.
He can fight. He can fight too.
He's strong. He's a strong dude. Yeah,
He
I've
can
seen
now.
him I've
sure
seen
he
him
can
fight
now.
in person. Yeah,
he now
can.
has that intimidation factor.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Good
Okay.
call.
Okay. And there's one. I got one more pick, right? So I'm thinking, look, we're not going huge on this team. We've got 2 guards who can play. I want a 3rd in there right now, and I'm gonna lock it down with. Look, we want a quick. We're putting Li Ning in this team as well. So
Ooh,
Li Ning's
good pick.
coming in right now.
Good
So
pick.
he's streaking the court at the same time. If you have Baboya and Li Ning running down at the same time, you've got no one home. And even if you get someone home, you're not going to have 2 guys home. We've got 2 guys with motors.
This is the quick team, yeah.
They're
the
quick.
Team.
So here we go.
They're going to lose quick.
And Lee will always hit that big shot in the playoffs.
Oh,
stretch
get
the
him
floor.
open. With Li Ning, every game, Li Ning will become 3 Ning. Do you guys know? Do you know about 3 Ning, Mark?
No, I don't know about 3 Ning, man. We always
3 Ning. 3 Ning is when Li Ning becomes 3 Ning once he's hit 3 threes in a row. And he does that.
That's like every game, though.
He did that. He did that in a game 3 of
He
the
became
EBA
3
finals. He became 3 Ning.
All right, next up, Elim. Back to you.
All right. For me, I'm looking at the playlist, and as far as someone who I think would fit in well here, the pace of the game I got right now is quite slow, so I need someone to speed things up. And I know once we get the rebound, Peter has really developed his outlet passing over the years. So someone who I believe can just get up the court, who's probably got one of the best finishing in the league, who can knock down threes, space the floor, and just actually one of the best up and coming scorers. I want to take Blessing. I'm surprised he's still available.
But it'll be interesting how Blessing can play off ball with Peter, though. It'll be the same, you know. But Blessing does need the ball in his hand a lot, and then
he's young, so he's got time. I reckon. I believe in him. I think he would be able to mold his game around that.
All right, Steve, you got the 18th pick.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, now I look at what you guys have picked, I think this is, I think I can't afford not to take this guy right now. Just looking at who's left. So I see who Brandon's got left, and I see that you don't have a center either, Mark. And I really think what I'll do is I'll take a guy who's young, who's got a lot of talent, but more importantly, is absolutely freaking huge. And so with Brandon and Jeff being able to like high-low with him, and Liam's such a good passer too, you know, I'm going to put Harrison there at center for me. And I don't care if like the Boyer and Elim beat my guys at guard, because I'm going to have just monsters behind them. They are going to have to pull up and shoot over the top of an outstretched arm.
And that's why I learned to do floaters.
Yeah. Well, you will need to float that extra high to get over Harrison.
All right, I'm back up again. Oof, couple of tough choices right now. So I'm eyeing right now is Tang, who can spare the floor for me, or Scott, who can create some more scoring, or someone like Nosh, who can anchor my paint. I'm actually gonna go with Tang. I know with Tang, with them on the team, you know, you're gonna get 5 threes a game, shooting 40% from 3-point line, a solid defender, some nice size, and then I'll put him along there with DJ Aaron as my backcourt team kit. Ray, back-to-back picks for you again.
So I'm looking across the board, and Elim has 2 huge bigs. Steve is huge. I mean, Brandon's team is quite strong. It's quite small actually. But Mark has some, you know, dominating inside presence. So I think I need someone that can help out Daniel a bit in defending these bigs. And looking across the board, there's not many extremely tall guys left. So I'm gonna have to go with someone who's really strong, who plays really good defense, and you know helps Dan out on the boards a lot. And that's gonna be Kaylee.
Oh, Kaylee.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Kaylee.
wow. That's a good pick. I like that pick.
Strong man, Kaylee.
The strongest man in the league.
Yeah.
I think so too.
He's also top 5 for
that
turnovers.
goes to CJ.
So, hey, let's forget about that.
Excuse me.
Nah, Kaylee's stronger than CJ, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Find me one competition where Kaylee is stronger than CJ.
All right, Ray, you got the 21st pick as well.
So I can't really see any. What do you guys have any ideas? What kind of weaknesses this team has? All I can see is perfection right now. I reckon we could 4v5 you guys.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. Ray, just pick all the cousins. Roy Wang, Kaylee Wang, Ray Wang.
Michael,
What are you waiting for, man?
Right, come on.
Come on, Ray.
I thought this was what you're doing. You're picking family.
You're going for the triple Wang strategy.
Do it, Ray. Do it.
Oh, to cause confusion. Oh, this is actually really good on matchups when they're asking who are we guarding, and then on the back of the singlet, it's just going to say Wang, Wang, Wang.
Hey, look, I'm thinking because right now I'm thinking once Dan or Kaylee gets a rebound, he passes to Mark, but no one's really that quick to run with Mark. And looking across the board, I think someone's a really underrated guard that can finish really well in transition. I'm going to take Vincent Lowe.
Oh, wow. Vincent and Mark combo. You know, I played with Vincent a couple of times. Man, that kid is something else, man.
So I'm going to move Roy to the forward slot.
Yeah.
And Vincent into the guard slot.
You need two balls for this lineup, though.
This is very interesting.
I mean, not really, though.
Vincent's been working on his outside jumper, but I can't say this team's got reliable shooters for Mark to kick out to.
You got Roy,
Roy, obviously.
37% shooter, and then you got Kaylee who can hit sometimes.
You sounded very
top 5 turnover guys in the league. Mark and Kaylee are both in the top 5 for turnovers.
And the issue is Kaylee had the ball a lot when he played for Hurricanes, and a lot of his passes to Dave was not ideal.
Have you
So
played with Kaylee? He always has the ball a lot.
Nah, if you keep the ball off his hand.
Not if you play with Mark. Not if you play with Mark.
Keep the ball out of his hands.
Kaylee's going to start to learn that he has to shoot corner jumpers now.
Who's second pick? It's me. Oh, I like how Ray's going with his team, going small. Should I go small and get Scott, or should I go big and get Gabe or Nosh?
To be honest, they're like the same size, eh?
Scott doesn't play like a big though.
Yeah,
He's very weak.
I mean, Scott this year, like seeing the average of Scott, he has improved so much. He's playing a lot more off ball. You know, he's can hit open threes, and he's become a really good defender as well nowadays. And then his basketball IQ has improved a lot as a much better passer. So I'll get Scott for my last pick.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? Let's talk about my picks because that's more important. Obviously, you guys have different philosophies, and some of you have a speed philosophy, and that's great. I don't think I need as much speed to keep up with you because I got strength. But it might be nice, I think, to have at least one fast guy who can keep up with every other fast guy that you guys have picked. And there is one guy left.
I think I know who you're talking
as
about.
Fast as all of them, if not faster. And, I just love his attitude. I love his attitude. He's a winner. He puts his heart out there all the time. He's a super nice guy, and that is David Wright.
Ooh.
So, David, I'm picking you. I'm picking you for your energy. And I just think, I just think David's energy bouncing off Brandon. Man, that is going to be an incredible lineup. There's going to be incredible energy on the court from my team.
Actually, that's not a bad point. I would like to see that.
I don't know if the refs are going to like this team, though. But
they got Liam and Jeff there. They're old heads. They'll calm things down. Harrison's not he's not a, what's the word? He's not a knucklehead, so he won't be a problem. So, I think.
All right, last pick. Elim, your turn.
Second to last. Oh, well, Elim's last. We're doing 6-man after this, eh?
Yeah, let's just do it.
Let's do it. All right, cool.
All right, so with my fifth pick, I realized I got two guards who handle the ball very well, who can create plays. I got two bigs two extremely dominant bigs, and I just need someone who can play really well off ball, does a little bit of everything, is defensive minded, and can kind of shoot a little bit outside, can cut, and I'm going to go with Nosh, the social media superstar.
So you're going to have a line of David, Mike, and Nosh as your front line?
Yeah.
I just don't see how you're going to get your scoring from. Like, who's Peter going to pass the ball to?
You don't see scoring. All I see is scoring.
No, I think you do. I think your team, you do need some more shooting on that team, Elim, especially on that guard and that forward slot. Like, you got great. Don't get me wrong, Mike can shoot, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't. I think Anosh, he's handy inside for sure, but I think looking at everyone else has definitely got more threats on the perimeter.
And you're gonna of course, Dave is a good scorer, but he's not gonna get any space. We have Nosh, Mike, clogging the paint with him.
Oh well, no, Mike's not gonna be in the paint.
But
Mike can stroke the three, man. What's his percentage? His percentage is 25%, but I reckon if he gets kickouts from Dave, or he gets set up on wide open threes, that percentage can climb up.
I mean, right now your best 3-point shooter is a Nosh with 28.85%.
We'll let Elim think about that one.
Man, these stats.
The stats are the stats of the stats. All right, I'm ready, Mark. You want to?
All right, Brandon, back to that pick. Yeah, finish your lineup.
All right. I think a couple of guys here are going to really feel like, they're going to understand it, especially because we've played with them as well. The guy who's going to come in and give me some more size, he's going to help us out on defense to match up with everyone else. He's going to stretch the floor a bit too. It's Andy. Andy's coming on the team. Andy's coming on the team for sure. And I think Andy is such a conscientious defender and teammate as well. Mm-hmm. He's really responsible for his assignments as well. And I see him for he could easily be like he could easily be one of the best 6 men in the league if that's the role that he was going to play on a team. And I think he could actually fit into almost any team, Andy, because he's got the size, he can shoot it, he can put the ball on the court, he's a smart dude, he can play defense, and he gets along with everyone. So Andy's going to, so Andy's not necessarily going to play in that center slot. Like I would probably say I've actually really got 3 guards and 2 forwards. So, but Andy's just big. So if they're bigs, you know, it's interchangeable. Andy is saying they're going to, just like it is on any other team with big guys, they're going to switch it up. So, but yeah, Andy's definitely in there. Cool. So that's it for the starting 5. And then I've got to pick a 6-man. Who's coming off the bench for me? And I'm checking out to make sure that I'm not picking anyone else over him. And man, there's a lot of clues as to why I'm picking these people. But it's Jin. I'm picking Jin as well. So we're going really Sonics heavy on this roster.
Jin has a lot of heart as well, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jin has a lot of heart. But he's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a champion.
He makes big plays.
He does make big plays. Like he stepped up hella during the finals last year.
Shut you down, man. He shut you down.
He shut me down.
All right.
You dreaming, Steve?
All right.
He did. Shout out to you, Jin. You shut Mark down.
Steve,
champion.
he didn't shut me down.
Because of
your 3 help defenders shut me down.
Who Jin truly shut down was who was the guy who blocked up the top all the way to the other side?
Z. He shut Z down as well. That was in his spare time. He shut Z down in his spare time while shutting him
blocked out with
down.
his armpit.
Oh man! All right, 27th pick is back to you, Elim. Your last.
All right, so with my 27th pick, my 6-man. A lot of talk about how my team doesn't have enough spacing, and I don't agree fully. But the stats are the stats, and if we're going by the stats, funny we mentioned him, but I'm gonna go with EBA's all-time 3-point percentage leader, a guy who can really shoot the 3. I think he still holds the record as well for most 3s in a game. Who can defend, who plays really well off the ball. He's athletic. And I feel like he is actually, the team that he's been playing in doesn't give him as big of a role as he deserves. And he would get that in this team, and that's going to be Z Wang.
So you're benching him.
It's all interchangeable. It's all
free Z.
It's all interchangeable.
Hashtag free Z.
Free Z.
Steve, to round out your roster.
Yeah, look, I actually probably would have taken Z because now I'm looking at shooting and I'm looking at the all-time 3-point stats and who's in the top 10. And there's only one guy left in the top 10 and he's talking to you. But I would feel bad picking myself. I'm sure of it. I'm trying to talk myself into it, but some of these other percentages are, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to bring the energy of Gabe Heem off the bench for my guys, but I don't know if I need more shooting. I got a feeling, obviously Jeff can shoot. I'm worried about shooting. So there's a lot of interesting guys left.
I can take Keith.
I could, but I'm a better shooter than Keith. All right?
Oh.
You know what? I just have to do it. I have to draft myself. I'm a better passer. I'm a better shooter.
Oh, man.
I'm leading the league in free throws.
Oh, God.
And so I'm going to take myself in 6th spot and help out wherever it needs help. And I'm a good defender, and I'll box out. And I'll feed guys. So everyone will get the ball. I think you need a guy who's willing to play and not need the ball. And that's probably me.
So I have the 29th pick. I think with my last pick, I'll go with Gabe. Yeah. But, I think we have a lot of speed, a lot of switchability, quite a lot of shooting. And then if you ever need to go big, you can always switch out Tang or Scott for Gabe to match up against the bigger teams, I think. Yeah, really well-rounded team. With
I can see that happening.
A lot of pace, a lot of fun, actually. A lot of energy and a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm happy with it. All right, Ray, you close the draft out.
All right. So looking at this team, I'm seeing pace with you and Vincent running down the court. We're seeing interior defense with Dan and Kaylee. The only thing I think I need off the bench is some additional shooting and maybe some size in the guard spot. And I'm gonna have to take someone who is, an underrated defender, someone that can someone who can stretch the floor, create some not myself. Create some space
You
for.
should pick yourself, Ray.
Nah,
You know
it's
the
gonna
Wang,
be.
man.
I know who it's gonna be. Let's go,
I think
Ray.
so too. I think so too.
Alright,
I'm ready
it's
for
gonna-
myself. I'm ready.
All right, so to come off the bench is going to be Keith Zell.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Let's go. Hey, Keith. Shout out Keith, one of my all-time favorite teammates. If you ever make a shot, even if that's the only field goal for the game, he'll act like it's like your 70th point. He just gets so hyped there.
And then no one drafted Darren. I'm surprised you didn't take Darren, Steve. I thought Darren would be a better player than you are for your
His
team.
stats, he is a better player than me, Darren. You are a better player than me. But your all-time three-point shooting is below mine right now, so I got to take that. I got to take it.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun, and that's 6 rounds of draft completed. But before we go, everyone want to just recap your team, like just name your whole team out, and then explain to them what style your team will play and why you drafted the best team in this draft. So Ray, you're going first.
All right, so I started the draft off with picking Mark number 1, followed up with a really solid interior force in Dan, and rounded them out with solid role players. So on offense, how this team is going to play is Dan is going to Dan or Katie's going to get the O board, pass it out to Mark and Vincent run down, score on anyone.
Fair enough.
In the half court set, we might have to sub Vincent out for Keith, with Keith and Roy on both wings. Dan in the middle, Kaylee setting the screen. I mean, who's getting over Kaylee's screen? Nobody. So, this is the best team by far. Destroy everyone. The only team that I see that we might have a problem with is Mark's team. But, in the end, our three-point shooting will prevail.
He's kissing butt, Ray.
Ray, after today, you're my favorite guy in the league right now, man.
He's kissing butt.
Man, all right. So next up will be me. So in my backcourt, I have Aaron McGregor and Tinker, and DJ and Scott as my forward. At center, I have Quinn, the former EBA most dominant player. And off the bench, I have Gabe. I think this team is really dynamic, fun, and fast-paced, with Aaron pushing the ball, Quinn, Scott, DJ can all run down the floor. And then also a lot of shooting as well. Like Scott, Tane, DJ, and Aaron all can hit the perimeter shots. And then if ever need to go match up against a bigger team, just bring Gabe on. Gabe can match up with any bigs in the league. He's a fun dude to be around with. It'll be a fun team. Good chemistry, good dynamic, a lot of fun. And none of you are going to stop us, man. None of you are going to stop us. All right, Steve.
My team, I won't do it in draft order. I just do I got 2 guards. I got David Wright and Liam Thompson at guard. And I got Brandon Lipman and Jeff McKay at forward. And then I got Harrison Roper at center. And I got myself coming off the bench. So I really wanted to have the best team. And I think I've got the biggest team overall with Harrison, Jeff, and Brandon and Liam. I also think I've probably got maybe even with some people, but I got a lot of championship experience. So David, Brandon, Jeff, and me have all won championships in EBA. I know Liam's won championships in other leagues. So I think I got a lot of championship experience. I think it's a pretty good team. And I also, I love that I have David because with the size we got on the boards, any easy boards we get and teams not watching David, he can run out and score pretty much on any guy in the league. He's so fast. So, yeah, I like us. And especially, where I really like us is defensively, okay? I just think in a half-court game, defensively, no one's going to get any offensive boards, and it's going to be hard to score around the hoop with, Jeff and Brandon bodying guys up and Harrison being there behind people. So I just think...
All right. Elim, your turn.
So I'm team, which is by far the most well-rounded and a versatile team of this draft. At the guards, I have Peter, Blessing, and Z as well as the guard that can slot in there. The forwards, I got Enosh and Mike, and at center, I got Big Dave holding it down. I don't necessarily think Z is coming off the bench. I think the starting 5 can really change it up as needed. In fact, I might actually put Z might start off in that small forward spot quite well as a spacing option, and then Enosh can kind of come off the bench as needed matchup wise because he's so versatile defensively. I think this team has the most dominant front court by far. No one in this draft can guard Dave on the inside. So, and this team has a lot of good passing. You also got a guy like Blessing who can get in the paint, who can run the court. So if the big commits to guarding Blessing, you know who's going to clean up the boards. You got Mike, who is just a dominant big man scorer. So you just got multiple guys on this team that can drop 20, 30 points on any given night. And the remaining guys are guys that are just super, super good glue guys who provide so many intangibles. They're super great teammates like Z, Enosh, and Peter. They probably won't drop heaps of points. Z can go off, but they're going to really empower the other three guys to drop 30 a game, I reckon. And then that'll be all we need.
Nice. All right, Brandon, wrap us up.
Yeah, real easy. You guys have made my job really easy because you're all wrong. I've by far got the best team. If we want to go man on you guys, we're 100% covering every one of you. Doesn't matter if you're playing big, doesn't matter if you're playing small. We got champions on this team. We got MVPs on this team as well. We got shooters, and we've got stretchers as well. So on the bench, we're completely versatile, more versatile than any of you guys. And we can score and we can run. Like I don't care what you guys actually have to say. I think this is a shoo-in for me.
Your teams are full of cream puffs, Brandon.
You play on this team. Well, you play on this team with 4 of these dudes, man. So you just called a third of your teammates cream puffs.
Because you didn't back them up with any muscle. You needed to back them up with some muscle. Give them a chance.
Sorry. Would you like to get into the octagon with Hussein Salman? Yeah,
I
thought so.
But I'll send you out to fight him when we play.
Yeah, exactly. That's your job.
I mean, to be fair, Brandon's backcourt will give you 20 rebounds a game. That's some muscle right there.
Yeah, I mean, look at the whole thing. You can't tell me that your team's going to beat my team.
My team's going to beat your team.
You're wrong.
Thank you guys for coming on the show today. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Elim. Thank you, Brandon. Sorry that was a long recording. You guys did great. I loved your banters. It was a good fun. Thank you.
No problem, man. Love it.
Cheers,
That
Mark.
was fun. Shout out, Mikey.
All right. Let's see who's going to win the best team then. We'll find out soon. All right. This is the EBA Players Podcast. Catch you guys next time.